there. It's Sunday. We're well rested and we have time. So I'm going to make one of the things for dinner. It's 3 o'clock, but I'm going to go ahead and make this thing for dinner. It's broccoli cornbread, which is one of those unusual recipes that is good warm or room temperature or even fridge cold. And in fact, the first time I had it, it was fridge cold, and we had been at the beach. I was visiting a friend. We were staying with her mom, and one of our other friends' moms was staying with her. So Angie and Susu had gone to a church bake sale and picked up this broccoli cornbread, and to the sunburned girls full of rum runners who came home, it was like ambrosia. It was amazing. So Angie said, well, I think I have this in my church cookbook at home. So she mailed it to me later. So this is the recipe. It's all spattered and grizzled. And one of the things in it is cottage cheese. And I can't, this is one of the problems. I can't eat the dairy. We've talked about this. It's not good for me. And so I gave it up for Lent. I'm trying to break the association. But anyway, so broccoli cornbread, we're going to try a substitution, and if it's not good, I'm not going to post it, so we'll know if you're watching this, it turned out. The first thing you need, and so I'm going to do this in the mixer. Now, I usually, because the cottage cheese is pretty loose and you use melted butter, you don't really need a mixer, you just kind of hand stir it. But I'm going to use the mixer because I'm going to use a stick of butter that's soft, and I'm going to use tofu cream cheese. We'll see. We'll see how it is. And I'm also going to use some of this almond mozzarella. And, life requires adjustments as you age. So anyway, so the first thing we're going to do, though, this is such like a church cookbook recipe. It takes Jiffy Mix. So, but in order to, and it says to melt a stick of margarine. We're not going to do that. I have a very soft stick of butter here that I'm going to put in here in the mixer. And this is another thing. Sometimes I would melt it in the Pyrex thing, but if you want to melt butter, I'm telling you, I got this thing the other day. This thing is the best. It's just a butter warmer. I don't have a microwave in my fixer kitchen, so I use this butter warmer, and it's fantastic. Anyway, it would always pop in the microwave, and then I'd have to clean the microwave, Anyway, so we're going to try this tofu cream cheese. Now, it called for a cup of cottage cheese, which is one of those small containers. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do half a cup of this tofu cream cheese, which is about half the container. And I'm going to beat that with the butter. Somebody asked me the other day, boy, is there anything you can't do? And I'm here to tell you, quite seriously, I'm a terrible skier. Anyway, food for thought. Oh, and I need eggs. We need 3 eggs. You guys get to see my fridge. There we go. I think it's so funny. You can't really see anything that I'm doing. But, so I was wondering, it's sort of stiff. The eggs will loosen it up. Unlock that. But my other answer, my more serious answer is, everybody can do many, many things. And we say things to ourselves that we would never say to a friend. You're allowed to do more than one thing with your life. I love being a decorator. I think it's so much fun, and I have had so much fun reopening my business. I'm so happy about it. But I still love plants and cooking. And I have a friend who's a designer she's a really good painter and knitter. We're allowed to do more than one thing. All right. There we go. Now, see, the other thing is, you can tell this is an older recipe. it has a box of frozen chopped broccoli. Now the boxes were 10 ounces. I wrote this down, 10 ounces, because they don't make frozen boxed anything anymore. So I have, I don't know if you've ever noticed in the bottom of the frozen broccoli bag, sometimes there's like all kinds of little florets and stuff. So I drained this, and you do it in like a colander over a bowl. See all that water? Maybe you can't, but anyway, there's a lot of water in the bottom of the bowl. So just pull it out. If the pieces are really big, you can chop it after it's thawed. So I'm gonna throw that in. Get all those little flowers off. And we'll just stir that up. And I'm gonna cut, it says a cup of chopped onions. I don't know if anybody really knows how much that is. I mean, a cup, but What I'm thinking is what we want to do here. Hey, honey. What's wrong? You okay? Okay. So I'm just going to use half of this onion, and I'm going to save the other half for something else this week. I think I can think of about 4 different things I could do with it. Maybe I'll torture you with that little item. And that's always what I'm trying to do. And, people tease me all the time. Like, you go to the grocery store like every day. I go to this grocery store probably every other day. Partly because I think to myself, you know what I'm going to do with that rest of that onion? I'm going to do blank. And then I'll realize I don't have everything I need. And it's usually 1 or 2 things. All right, so that onion, which is diced, is gonna go in, and then I'm gonna throw in my Jiffy mix. Okay, so far we have half a cup of fake cream cheese and half a cup, oh no, we haven't done that other, and a stick of butter that's very soft or melted, and 10 ounces of broccoli, which is basically like it's 2/3 of a bigger bag, because the bigger bags are a pound, right? Thawed and drained. And half an onion chopped up, and 3 eggs, and a box of Jiffy mix. This cracks me up too. Now they give you an option of being vegetarian with the Jiffy mix, which kind of makes you wonder what it was before. And then we've got our fake cheese. And we're gonna do half a cup of fake cheese, which I am gonna kind of measure, but I mean, it's not really that important. I mean, it kind of looks like mozzarella. It says it has good melting properties. Let's see. I haven't tried it. I got it to make pizza, but there's enough left to make pizza. My one sad pizza for Mom that's gonna have lots of gross things on it for the kids. Okay. And that's it. And then, so I have here, my old friend Pyrex, and you need to butter your Pyrex. And then that, that will go in your Pyrex. And see, I'm wearing my Cornbread colored sweater too, which is an accident. But I think it's, mental matching. One of my favorite paint colors, by the way, is the C2 Cornbread. Yellows are very hard, but this is a good yellow. Oh, that's why I was jumping around. I didn't have it in its little thing. Apparently it worked. So we're just gonna throw that in. And the great thing about Jiffy Mix, I mean, if you don't have Jiffy Mix, that's fine. I mean, all Jiffy Mix is like cornbread and baking powder and some like shelf-stable oil and, salt and sugar. And, that's stuff that you have, right? I mean, the Jiffy Mix is 8.5 ounces, which is a little more than a cup. So you can do the math on that, right? But I did happen to have some Jiffy Mix. And we'll see if the kids will eat this. I don't know if they will. You know, I keep saying, oh, they don't eat this, they don't eat that. This week I'm going to make a couple things for you guys that the kids always definitely eat. But, you know, when I'm making a really kind of basic protein, I like to make kind of a weird carb because they get enough carbs. Right? Oh, India's crawling behind me. She's confusing the dog. Okay, I'm going to put this in the oven, and if it turns out, I'll post this. And if it doesn't, you know, no harm, no foul. But it's a half hour, it's a half hour at 350. And if you are using real cottage cheese instead of the fake stuff, it's a cup, 8 ounces. So one of the small containers or half of like a regular one. Okay? We're going to try this, and I will talk to you tomorrow maybe. Seems like every day now. Bye.